Good morning. I'm Virginia with you for the 11am Zlines. A Lockyer Valley resident who helped coordinate the makeshift evacuation centre at Murphy's Creek during the January floods has told the Queensland Flood Inquiry that the disaster response efforts were chaotic. Other victims to testify include a Sunwater engineer who told the inquiry that software at the Flood Operations Centre was 15 years old, reducing the efficiency of communication and responses during the floods. These are just two examples of the many concerns which have been raised over Queensland's future preparedness for disasters and calls to update the disaster management plan. Brisbane Airport's highly anticipated common use satellite upgrade was unveiled by Acting Prime Minister and Treasurer Wayne Swan on Friday as the first stage of a $500 million overall upgrade to the domestic terminal. The upgrade includes an increase in the number of passenger gate lounges from 2 to 7, 2 additional aircraft parking bays, new food and beverage facilities, improved energy efficiency of the satellite building and space for airline officers. Brisbane Airport Corporation CEO and Managing Director Julianne Alro adds that both Virgin and Qantas will be upgrading their own sections of the terminal in a combined effort with the corporation to meet the demands of future passenger growth. RACQ is reminding motorists that the wrong positioning of satellite navigation devices is illegal and can result in a fine. Drivers must ensure the device is positioned so it does not obstruct vision, especially as many of these devices are designed to attach to the windscreen with a suction cup. RACQ technical researcher Russell Manning says drivers often don't think about the effect the sat-nav will have on the view of the road and that the centre of the windscreen is not always the best option. A Galaxy poll commissioned by the Australian Coal Association has found that Queensland is the state most strongly opposed to the carbon tax, especially in Queensland mining towns where 73% of voters were against it. The findings come as the federal government talked down the likelihood that the carbon tax would be implemented, while also arguing that the measures to reduce climate change would not cost jobs in high-polluting industries. However, Australian Coal Association Chairman John Pegler warned the tax would be the end of Queensland coal mines as the ongoing costs would accumulate and exceed the value of the investment. The Bishop of Tripoli, Giovanni Martinelli, has appealed for a ceasefire after confirming that Muammar Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Arab, was killed in the NATO airstrike which occurred just before dusk yesterday. While Gaddafi supporters vow to avenge the death of the leader's son, the bishop pleaded with NATO, the United Nations and the international community to end the bombing of Libya. The attack in Tripoli has worsened already troubled relations between Allied forces and the Libyan government, and given the Libyan government grounds on which to argue the multi-country military campaign has exceeded its mandate and was a breach of international law. Violence has spilled into Tunisia from Libya as citizens fled over the border fearing a backlash from pro-Gaddafi forces after the NATO airstrike yesterday. Rebel strongholds in Libya were abandoned before fighting erupted over key supply routes in Tunisia, through which rebels were attempting to undermine Muammar Gaddafi. Witnesses were intensely fearful of the Libyan leader, describing him as crazy and capable of anything, and spoke of how they had fled to Tunisia with no plans of where they would live. The weather today is fine and sunny with a few scattered clouds later in the afternoon. The temperature will reach a top of 24 and a low of 17 degrees. Remember that public transport timetables are running to a Sunday schedule today. Enjoy the rest of your day off and join us for more Zlines tomorrow.
Come on down to the groovy sounds of the